10 cents, will you eat candy off the floor? And they'll say yes. And, you know, for $100, can I take toilet water and spritz your kitchen table? And they'll say yes. With an OCD, you couldn't pay them $1 million to do that. And the nature, though, of using the hierarchy is that as you knock off the easier items and you get a person touching light switches and doorknobs and then eating a sandwich over and over and over again, it knocks out, and the higher stuff drops. And that's what I really like about behavior therapy, is that, you know, the fear of that 10, when you get to the 10, is only a 6. It's still tough as nails, but it's not a 10. It's not going to send you into a panic. And if you go through that hierarchy, you experience that. Otherwise, you'd never believe it. You know, when I first tell people some of the things we might do, they never believe they'd ever do that. I've got a person right now, one of my favorite exercises, he's walking around with, he's gay and he has semen on a paper towel in his pocket. And he's going around touching his semen-laden paper towel, and he's shaking people's hands and spreading the possibility of AIDS, because he's somewhat of a responsibility OC. And I touched his paper towel, and I would eat right afterward.
Without washing it?
Yes, of course. Absolutely. It's risk-taking, and it's living with ambiguity, and that's how you beat this thing. You have to be really determined and do a lot of crazy things. What does it look like? Yes?
What's been your experience, if you've had an experience of treating individuals with OCD and how have they
Tics. I've worked with one person who also had Tourette's. I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about. Tourette's, it's sort of guttural, uncontrollable spasms, or an impulse to shout out certain words or phrases. All I know is that amongst people who have Tourette's, I think there's like a 70% people with Tourette's have OCD. And with this woman, I worked with her on her OCD, and it didn't have any effect on her Tourette's. But when I got her to stop trying to stop her Tourette's, it didn't go away, but it substantially decreased. She had Tourette's in a form that she could hide. And so the more she tried to hide it and became preoccupied with, oh my God, are people noticing it, the worse it became. And so when she really was able to say, I don't care if everyone in this room thinks of me as being a spasmodic moron, the Tourette's subsided. It didn't go away though. I'm not a real specialist for Tourette's though. But that's my experience. Tourette's is like a lot of things that with distress heightens the problem. And a lot of the distress is created from your reaction to the problem, so it becomes a wonderful self-fulfilling prophecy. Oh my God, I'm ticking. This shouldn't be happening. More ticks. Shouldn't be happening. And you've got a wonderful vicious cycle. As opposed to I'm ticking, fine, I'm ticking, and we live with this.
Is it that a tick is considered habitual? Or is it
I don't think so.
neurological?
I don't think so. I think it's primarily looked at as being neurological, but I really don't know anything about my own experiences with it.
In Judy Rapport's book, there's a page on a discussion. She was saying that a lot of people with OCD have tics, although it's not really Tourette's syndrome, but she believes that the OCD is caused by malfunction in the brain, which causes the same tic, even though it's not Tourette's.
Yeah, I don't agree with a lot of what Judy says.
No.
But there, I mean, she's a psychiatrist, so right away I have to hate her. And beyond that, her redeeming feature is that she supports behavior therapy. There really aren't many psychiatrists who say behavior therapy is effective, unfortunately.
Like what you said before, though, going back to that, behavior therapy can actually take the place of medicine and actually cause the brain to function the serotonin level.
I definitely believe that's the case.
Without using medicine, I think that's fabulous. Very positive.
Thank you.
If someone has OCD and they're living in a family, no one in that family is interested or cares about this person getting better. Right. Will that person be able to get better on his or her own?
If the person is disgusted with the disorder, yes.
Okay, so you don't have to rely on other people helping you to get better.
No. The people that have gotten better the quickest, like within 6 months, I've seen people knock out 90% of the disorder. It's very rare. But the one variable that's been consistent amongst those people is they've said, I've tried everything, and I'm just completely convinced that there's no hope for me other than what the hell, I'll listen to what you say, because I've got nothing to lose. And they get better because they do everything you tell them. And they get better. That's what I like about behavior therapy is
you don't necessarily have to have the support at home for that person to get better.
No.
Is there anybody that made that your approach of behavioral therapy?
I don't know, Jim. That's to you.
There's a couple of people who have done the behavioral therapy group here that the foundation subsidized that we could put you in touch with.
See, today I went today to take this test at Yale. It's called the white box test.
It rates the severity of your symptoms.
And this woman, Betty Wiley, says to me, yeah, you have OCD, she says to me, because I just found out about OCD like 3 weeks ago. And I didn't know the word, I don't know what it meant.
Well, welcome to the club.
Yeah, she says, yeah, you have it, and we can put you on this medicine. You have this medicine or this medicine. And they said an Anafranil was what I should take. Yeah. And I don't even know what the heck it is. And now, I'm saying to myself, taking me from work, and she said, then maybe you can have worse problems when you come off the medicine, and I'm not one to take medicine.
No, I don't think you'd be worse than you are now. It would just be if you go off the medicine, you just go back to baseline level.
Yeah. But I don't want to have to take it, and then I don't want to just sit with somebody 20 minutes every 2 weeks, and then I feel I'm going for I feel like almost like I'm a guinea pig type of thing. Seeing this medicine, they're not really talking to you.
Anafranil is not in the guinea pig stage. Sertraline would be more in the guinea pig stage, but not Anafranil. Anafranil is pretty well established.
But I don't think I'm a hero. I think from everything you said, I don't do these things repetitive like washing hands. I don't have any of that stuff.
We could talk after the group about your options. Yale, just in defense of Yale is a good medication, protocols, those type of things, and it's free, and that's really important in America.
It's not just free, but I don't know what it is.
What about, have you ever worked with children? I'm just thinking about, this is going nationally, and a lot of people have children with OCD and are concerned about behavioral therapy. Have you had any experience?
Yeah, to me, that's where the greatest need probably, exists. As far as intervention is concerned, you mentioned that you were making a movie that's going to be in school systems, and early identification of this, I think, is tremendous, important, because people who come to me probably average have it for 10 years, and the range is within 2 to 20. It's pretty well entrenched. A person's assertiveness skills are going to be affected by that point. Their issues with anger are going to be affected by that point. And a lot of systemic things start to develop after a person's had OCD for that long. And I think nipping it in the bud is really, really important. And I would imagine, although I don't know at this point that a lot of attention has been paid to adolescent or child behavior therapy, that because you can really structure the person's environment a lot better with kids than you can adults, that you have very profound positive effect. And I don't get referrals for some reason for children with OCD, probably because it's very secretive, and probably because parents don't know what's going on. They don't recognize it as OCD, and children spend so much time hiding it, and they don't know that it's OCD. So I think that, there are certain things that look kind of quirky that if is on this film, a lot of people are going to then start saying, okay, this is what's going on, we're going to refer the person.
I had it as a child, and I just had it. It was superstitious. I considered myself just very superstitious, and I did things for good luck. And until like a month ago, I realized all that time it was this disorder that I had. It was really wild to learn.
Yeah, that's not unusual. And people, a lot of times I hear that people say, I had these quirky little things, and then bam, it turned into a complete disabling situation. And I think that's where most of us have quirky little things. Like, I hate lint. I'm almost picking lint off. And I always feel like picking lint off of strangers if they're on the train next to me. I just want to do it. But once again, you pay me a dime and I'll put up with it. And I think that looks like kind of OCD, but the element is in not doing it, hey, what's going on? And for people with superstitions, it's like, I'll get a little upset, but fine. With OCD, it's, I'm totally incapacitated and burdened.